It is only February, and already state lawmakers across this country have introduced over 300 anti-LGBTQ bills. They range from bathroom bans to Tennessee leading the way on a bill to ban drag shows on public property. Well, our nightcap is still here. George, you know I'm turning to you first. Your book, Our Boys Aren't Blue, has been under attack for years.
Yes.
What do you think about this onslaught of bills? I mean, drag shows, who even cares that much?
Yeah. I mean, we have to get to the reality of the situation. A census came out, I believe it was the 2019 or 2020 census, and it basically said that Generation Z was about to be more non-white than white and was already identifying as 20% LGBTQ. And so when we look at what is happening, the book bans, we look at Roe v. Wade, when we look at Don't Say Gay bills, they are all tied together. This one census that is showing that the demographic in this country is changing so rapidly is the reason that all of these anti-LGBTQ bills are coming out. It is the reason why they are trying to force white women in particular to have more children. It all goes hand in hand. They need, one, they want to keep the heteronormative paradigm of this country intact. Two, they want to keep white men in power. And three, all of this, like I said, it just goes back to where this country has always started. This country has always oppressed people who were non-white. This country has always oppressed people who were not heterosexual. As those dynamics are starting to shift rapidly with Gen Z, as they are my favorite generation because they are ready for war at all times, we are watching the pushback primarily be against them. And I just happen to get caught up in the flow because I just happen to write a little book about my story about being black and queer.
Okay, then given where we are in the culture wars, I'm guessing your MVP this week has got to be somebody in this mix.
Yes. My MVP this week is a good friend of mine. Her name is Hope Giselle. She is a black trans woman who is an author. She is an activist. She is a DEI specialist, and she is the first openly black trans woman to speak at NASA. She is doing the work to create safer spaces for black LGBTQ people. She has always been about it. She has been someone who has protected me at times and has spoken up on behalf of my book at times. And she's just a brilliant, brilliant black woman who I think deserves all of her flowers now and deserves to be booked across this country because she is just amazing, fabulous, and she's just about it.
She is the moment. BD, how about you?
Oh, well, I'm going to hop on the drag visibility wagon because, well, actually...
What a wagon.
It's a fabulous wagon. Actually was like, it's actually Broadway that I'm really into this week. I'm a proud member of the Broadway community.
Broadway always wins on this show, just so you know, always wins.
Well, Jinx Monsoon, really an incredibly talented and very visible drag performer, has taken over a role in Chicago and broken all box office records. Chicago's been running for like 20 years or more than that. And so for someone to come in and not only breathe fresh artistic life into a show, but to create that visibility, which we absolutely need to counteract all of this transphobia and dragphobia, is really important. But also, I wanted to throw a shout out to the cast of Parade, the musical, which is having incredible anti-Semitic protests based upon the content of the show, and how the cast and the production and the theater and the New York City Center, who are producing the show, have stepped up and spoken out against it. I think there's some kind of day of hate that is being organized. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, but it's being combated with a day of love and support for the Jewish community this weekend. Who's your MVP, Mar?
My MVP is Rihanna.
Okay, always. Not even this week.
She's the MVP of every week. And it's not because of the Super Bowl performance, though that could have earned her a spot as well.
100 feet off the ground, pregnant is pretty impressive.
Amazing. It's because of her Vogue cover. So she was on the cover of British Vogue, and the photo is of her in front of her husband, leading, he's behind her.
ASAP behind her with the baby.
I'm sorry, not her husband. I got
man,
way
her
ahead of
partner,
myself.
her
I'm so
partner,
excited about a
her
potential
partner.
wedding. Her partner. And she is in front of him, and she's leading him, and he's holding the baby, and the baby is smiling, and the baby looks so happy. And, the cover really triggered a lot of misogynists because she has this very, bold, confident pose. She's leading the man. She looks like she's in charge. But I saw something completely different. I saw a family unit that really supports one another. I saw a woman who is running a business, and she's learning how to juggle and manage a family. I saw two partners who were learning everybody can't lead at the same time.
You're giving me the chills.
It was amazing. But the best thing that I saw was the happy baby. That boy's smile could light up a room, and that tells you everything you need to know about the house he's growing up in.
Misogynist be damned. Ron, take us home.
I'm going with Volodymyr Zelensky because 1 year after the invasion of Ukraine,
to this day,
talk about a transformational character in so many different ways, a comic actor who becomes the president of a country after having played the president of a country on TV and then turning out effectively to be a hero for his nation. It's such a transformative moment, I think, for them. It tells us a lot about what can be done, what individuals can do, what one person can do to change and bend the arc of history. I don't see how he can't be considered a hero. And he's gotten a lot of great support from Joe Biden and from those in Europe. But I think he stands head and shoulders above many other leaders right now with respect to what he's been able to do in the last year.
Those are heroes across the board. I'm going to wrap up with an MVP that is not a hero, but certainly had an extraordinary week. We talked about it in our last segment, and it is Tucker Carlson. It cannot go unnoticed that Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, is now working hand in hand with a known propagandist. Now, thanks to Kevin McCarthy, Tucker Carlson has 44,000 hours of sensitive government security camera video footage from January 6th. What he does with it and the effect it could have, we do not know. But congrats, Tucker Carlson. You won the week. Wake up, America. This is happening on our watch.